It is not that cold, Carmen. No. Very good.
I think that works out pretty much the same shot every night, so this is a 5-second back. Feels good.
How's it going?
Good. Yourself?
Good.
You got here a little late, didn't you, Jim?
Yeah, I was supposed to be here Tuesday, but my flight got canceled. I had a 10 a.m. flight, so I was gonna be here for both games,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't get me out here till Wednesday night.
Crazy.
Yeah, we had storms in Chicago Monday, and I guess it backed up a bunch of flights. So everything to Omaha was booked.
Okay.
I don't know what happened with ours. I mean, they said our crew didn't show up, but at first it was just like it'll be 30 minutes late, and then it went to an hour late, and then it went to totally canceled. So I would think like if it was storm related, you would know the crew wasn't going to be there. I don't know why they strung us along. So I don't know what happened with that.
What's that? I don't know. People just aren't sitting on your side. Really, come visit Suzanne. Come on over. We don't want to have to. Everybody, let's self-distribute. Don't make me have to get out a seating chart.
We got thrown off last game. Did people not know that that's the D1 baseball row? And the name should be on the seat like the Gregor.
I don't know though. When he's picking on them in the front row, I'm in the back this time.
Open mic. I can say what I want.
You need to tell him
Too
what
much
order
power.
people will answer the questions in, like the person last one.
I didn't like that too much.
Coach, followed by you, and you. You need to get John back some play. Fly back so long.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I mean, I think the thinking was this year you double headers. But like, have you and Jim done that the whole time? So if he's gonna come out for part of it, why not come out for the end? Like, especially this year with the draft being late, like, give yourself more than like a half day off before you jump into this.
Yeah. You could tell that weekend I walked away because she took 2 minutes to this. It was just so eager.
He shouldn't be calling him every day. He shouldn't do game stories. Well, you guys do game stories and stuff. Whereas when John's writing a column about whatever strikes his fancy, he could write a crank out a column.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what he was doing while he was out here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Did he do any game stories? Yeah. Well, good. Because it's like it's kind of. He's been coming out here what?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, may as well come.
Or if you're too tired, you know, you're working in yeah, he did. In the one year he came, he brought out. I mean, he came in and he brought out. Whoever, probably just Mary's guy. down, I mean, it's not like you have to pay.
Look at
That's good hotel.
Flights are relatively cheap.
get out of the third inning. And now you pick on the kid, but
One guy. Yeah, that's why I just talked to her about this. I just want to talk. He's a little.
Compared to last year's madness. It was madness last year. But I really get into 16 inning game watching on TV. Oh, yeah. I thought that the only way to stop it is to stop it. I don't know. She's got it.
The worst was last year when Nola hit the game with home run, he wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Dude, just, it was two sentences to go together.
It's like the greatest moment of your life.
What?
It's the greatest moment
Yeah.
of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was like. It's
Carson does
like,
the same thing. He's like, we'll just go out there and throw strikes.
yeah.
Yeah, he hit the fact he found it off the ground and hit him in like the first inning of SEC tournament. No, Alabama. It was game 3 when Alabama was series.
Y'all have staff photographers or y'all just shoot Eddie?
Yeah. It was actually, it was game 2.
Oh, was that it?
This is fine. That's the first SEC tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a foul bounce. Yeah, my friend,
Not actually.
the parents said he was sitting in the hotel and then his dad was walking over here and took a picture. I said, "That's- Words that could swollen.
I'd be like,
Fluids.
What kind of camera are you taking? Okay, so you got a real one there. Oh, nice. Like 5 years ago, before started doing it that often, I was at a game at Wrigley Field, Cubs PR lady chastised me for standing up and taking a photo from my seat. There are no photos in the press box.
Got a few more people on your side. Good job.
Great catches against the fence.
Been more welcoming, more friendly.
He made some good catches down the stretch. He ran both today.
Completely new lineup next year. Sky, how's it going?
I mean, here's just a picture. He was, I think so. It's against Louisville. Yeah, he's been on. He had a stretch right before the playoffs where he couldn't hit. That's when they bumped top.
Turn off what?
Kind of let it be known that he just saying again, he wasn't going to be hit ties. So
Turn off?
the cell phone thing.
Oh. I thought you were asking me to turn off the mic. Hmm. That's all right.
Comes back the next year, he's throwing 90, and then he's throwing 100.
You don't know. Are we close?
He's just rocking and firing, man. Throwing 97. He couldn't probably 5'8".
So the rest of the team,
140
Back to
pounds.
FCSU.
Oh yeah, the rest of the team is back on the box. And then they just scoot right in.
UMass really bad. 4-2.
Next time you come to the lane, you know, hey, Timmy,
Yeah, Diggy.
no, dude, they're like literally like extended like out to here to be able to swing the backs. He's so far back in the box.
I imagine in 2-8 Texas, 100 miles an hour looks like 200 miles.
Oh, and then of course that kid was throwing like 68 mile-an-hour fastball. His brother's going to the next year. Steven. He's not. I mean, he's good. He's a two-way guy. Team up.
Representing TCU, head coach Jim Schlossnagle, Preston Morrison, and shortstop Keaton Jones. Coach, if you'd begin with an opening statement.
Sure. Congratulations to Vanderbilt on making the championship series. Outstanding team. Really proud of our team. As I always say, you know, there are no bad days in Omaha. Some are just better than others. So this one's certainly the worst one, but it's still not a bad day. Anytime you're finishing your season in the Final Four of the country. So I feel really good about our club. Felt like this is a national championship team, caliber team. Just didn't go our way, and we ran into a heck of a pitcher today who just smothered us, especially in the early innings, and we never really recovered from it. So congratulations to Vandy, and I'm proud to be a TCU Horned Frog.
As I open the floor to questions, reminder, please silence your cell phones, turn off any video recording devices, and we'll open the floor to questions. Carlos.
Carlos Mendez, Forward Star Telegram. Coach, and Preston and Keaton also, do you find yourselves wondering what if you played anybody else besides Vanderbilt this week?
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, but you know, that's the way tournament baseball goes, and you know, they a lot of things have to go into winning a tournament, and that's what it is. It's never about the best team; it's the team that plays the best. And I think Vanderbilt has a heck of a team, and they're certainly playing as good as anybody in the country right now. But you know, we felt like we were good enough to play with them. We just didn't play as well as they did today.
Kendall.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. This is for Keaton. I guess when a guy like Bueller is in that much of a zone, I guess what was he doing to kind of keep you guys off balance? And also, are there any adjustments you guys have tried to make to get him somewhat out of his groove at all?
Well, he was attacking with every single pitch, and he was throwing them for all for strikes. I mean, it was tough because he wasn't just throwing it down the middle or anything like that. He was hitting his spots in, out, and then throwing his breaking ball on the corners as well. For us, I think we were just trying to attack his fastball, but it was tough. He was pitching well. So,
Jim.
Jim Callis from MLB.com. Keaton, just to follow up on Walker Bueller a little bit, did he look better or different than the first time you guys faced him earlier in the season? And Coach, could you answer that too?
Keaton, if you'd begin.
from my memory, he was pitching well the first time we faced him as well. I know we didn't score too many runs off him either. So, I mean, he was lights out tonight, and he had everything working for him the first time as well. So, I mean, he's a good pitcher, and you just got to tip your hat to that guy.
Coach?
I thought that early on he had a lot more on the baseball than he did. You know, certainly it was a day game in Dodger Stadium. I think it was really he had just come off, a 2-inning little appearance in the midweek game, and then that was he may have started that game, but that was his first real start after coming off whatever little issue that he had. And we scored the runs off Pfeiffer, but in that game. But yeah, I just thought he was really good. The velocities, if they were correct on the scoreboard, were really impressive, but it was his command and just aggression. And of course, he did a heck of a job pitching with a lead. You know, the key for us today was like it was the other day with Alex, is we were going to have to pitch with him. That was our only chance. And that's really, there aren't too many teams in the country that can pitch with us, and that's one of them, And so we knew that going in.
Are there any further questions? Carlos?
Keaton, you guys have played very intense games under a lot of stress for a good month almost. Does it catch up to you at some point, maybe like tonight when the score kind of gets away from you a little bit?
Not really. I mean, I don't know. We just didn't play our brand of baseball. He pitched a really good game, and we just didn't find enough ways to score. And they did a really good job off of Tyler to score some runs early in the game.
Kendall?
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Coach, I know this game's just finished, but, you look back at guys like Preston in the senior class, you don't see many programs with this many seniors. I guess kind of reflect on, what those guys did the last few years for this program.
I mean, you think about the guys that have been here for, 4 years, or in Trey Tickle's case, 5. They've been a part of, 2 College World Series teams, 3 Super Regional teams. Tickle was a part of, what was his first year? What was your first year? 2012?
12.
So he was part of 4 regional teams, 2011. So, yes, and some of the this guy's a first ballot TCU Hall of Famer. I think Keaton Jones should be. I think Riley Farrell should be. So some of the greatest players in the history of our school on this team. And so, again, it's hard to reflect right now, but it's a really special group and a group that has really helped us establish us as a legitimate program. An Omaha program, one that you're not going to be here every year, but you're going to be fighting for that opportunity every year, and that wasn't the case just 5 years ago. So we're very appreciative of those guys.
We'll take 3 more questions, starting with Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Preston, just to kind of piggyback on that question, when you look back at this ride, and this group of players that you've been with for 4 years, how do you kind of describe the relationship that you guys have with each other and how this run has felt for you guys?
It's been amazing. 4 or 5 years ago, I was, some unrecruited guy from a small town in North Carolina, and then just to be a part of this program, a part of this school, is just about anything a guy could ask for. And then just the relationships I have with all my teammates, especially these seniors, it's a true blessing, and I've never taken it for granted. And it's been the best decision of my life to come here. I'm just so happy that it all happened.
Brad.
Brad Hardcastle, TCU360.com. Coach, what did you tell your players after the loss, and what's your message to them after this game?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of things I want to say to them, but it has to be in the right context. And nobody, 10 minutes after your season ends, or some of these guys, their college career or maybe their baseball career ends, nobody wants to, hear the obituary of the season. But I'll have a lot of things to say to them. Just told them that I'm proud of them, and there's no bad days in Omaha. Today's still a heck of a lot better day than Micah had today. And so we're going to, as we've done all season, we're going to keep this in perspective for what it is. And it's an honor to put on the same jersey as these guys. And so, but I have a lot to say to them when we get home.
We have time for one final question. Gil.
Gil Leberton, Fort Worth Star Telegram. Jim, last year when y'all left, there was a lot of peripheral talk about the ballpark, the bat, the wind, everything. This year, it's safe to say that it was all about the baseball, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really great point to make. I think at the end of the day, this park is still going to, the wind's still going to play a factor. But that's, there are plenty of parks in the country where, that's what makes baseball great. Is it's not, it's not a basketball gym where everything's the same. It's unique. So I think the ball, it seems to have definitely helped. I still think we can take one more step and play with the minor league baseball, but it's a huge step in the right direction.
On behalf of the NCAA, I'd like to congratulate TCU on a wonderful season. Thank the student athletes and Coach Jim Schlossnagle for joining us. If you have individual interviews, please coordinate with TCU SID Brandy Davidson. Representing Vanderbilt, head coach Tim Corbin, right fielder Rhett Wiseman, center fielder Brian Reynolds, and the starting pitcher Walker Bueller. Coach, if you'd begin with an opening statement.
Well, I mean, I think first I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about Jim and TCU, because he's a very close friend, and that's always difficult, particularly after the game, win, lose, what have you, just to get with a guy that you like a lot, and knowing how difficult it is because he's got some special players on his team. That's difficult, but he does it right. He makes it about the kids, and there's some special relationships in there. As far as we're concerned, Walker, he pitched very, very well.
Just throw it outside.
well, he doesn't have as much poise as he did on the mound, obviously, in a press conference. But he pitched very well tonight, especially being that he hadn't pitched in almost more than half a month. I thought he was right on point. You never know what's going to happen when a guy has that much time off, but I felt like he filled up the strike zone early and often, and those were 6 of the most impressive innings that I had seen him pitch. And then John Kilichowski finishing up. Offensively, we did a nice job. I thought Brian Reynolds' hit was probably one of the more important hits because it looked like the inning was going to break down, and he got the 2-out hit in the 6th hole and drove a run in. And then after that, it was a nice push by the team. Rhett started the 1 inning off with a hit, and it was 4 continuous. And then, obviously, after he took the ball to the neck, hitting the home run and just staying in the game was such a big moment for him and our team. So we enjoyed it. We played well, and certainly looking forward to moving on.
We'll open the floor to questions. Once again, please introduce yourself and the agency you represent. Kendall?
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Walker, just kind of talk about your stuff tonight. And also, it seemed like early in the game you had a little bit more juice than usual in your fastball. Were you just pretty amped up after not pitching last weekend?
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to be here and not be a little amped up. And, this is a big stage, and it's fun to be in that environment. And, I guess the rest was kind of a blessing in disguise. And, as I've said previously, if, you win 2 games in a super regional, I got no problem not pitching. So, it's just confident in our team and our defense and trying to throw strikes and that type of thing.
We'll go to the third row, Adam.
Adam Sparks, Tennessee, and this is for Rhett. Kind of take us through when you got hit. Was there any discussion of leaving the game, or what was your condition at that point? Did you think you'd go back out?
Yeah, it's College World Series, baby. Staying here, you have to kill me to take me out of that game. I think that's probably the first thing I said to you was I'm not coming out of this game, especially early in the game. But it's easy going back out there, following Walker's lead on the mound. He's just so effective in bringing everyone that plays behind him into the game and brings so much energy to the table that by the 3rd inning I'd forgotten about the neck and was back in the game.
Aaron
50 with Baseball. Rhett, on the home run there in the 4th inning, can you take us through that at bat a little bit? I mean, it seemed like you put a pretty good charge on that ball with the wind blowing in.
Yeah, it was just it was a 1-0 slider that was a little up in the zone. Didn't break the way he wanted it to, and runner on second base. That was in our game plan there. Runner on second, looking for some off-speed pitches, and fortunate enough to get one up in the zone. Just put a good swing on it.
Ben Weinrib, the Vanderbilt Hustler. Tim, obviously Brian hit well today. What factored into the decision to move him back to the 5-hole?
It was just getting another right-handed hitter up there against Alexander more than anything else. And right-handed, he'd been swinging it really well. The one ball that he hit against Fullerton in the opening game in that, I guess it was the 9th inning, he had a series of good at-bats right-handed, and we just wanted to push him up there.
Kendall
Rogers again from D1. Tim, TCU was kind of able to get back in a groove offensively against LSU yesterday. How would you kind of analyze Walker's performance today, just overall and from a stuff standpoint?
Well, I thought it was very good. I think anytime you're facing a group of guys that have put together 2 very good offensive games against a very good team in LSU, older, smarter, a lot of at-bats in that lineup, you have to pitch well. We're very worried not worried, but concerned coming into that game because we really had to do a good job to stop them, just to contain them, because once they get guys on base, it becomes a track meet, and we wanted to minimize those opportunities as best we could, and Walker did that. He just kept base runners off. And we played good ground ball defense behind him as well. We really did. Tyler Campbell and Dansby and Toff and Jaron's catch in left field. Those were all big defensive plays just to settle the game.
Adam
Sparks, Tennessee, and this is for Brian. What effect do you think playing in this game last year and making the run last year had on today? How do you think that affected you guys and your confidence-wise?
Obviously it's a new year and we have a bunch of new players out on the field, but I think having a guy like Walker on the mound and, a guy like Jason behind the plate, you have two guys that have been there, and they're just kind of maybe a little more relaxed. Just a good lead for the team.
We'll take 3 more questions, starting in the third row on the right.
Gerard Gilberto, NCAA.com. Just playing, this could be for anybody, just playing a game that wasn't a 1 or 2 run game, having that breathing room. Does that change the mentality? Plus now you got a couple days off. Does that help going forward?
Ryan, could you start with this question, please?
I think it's great because obviously last game our bats were held down a little bit, and then to come into this game and kind of get them going, it's good momentum going into the next series, and the days off are obviously nice to just recharge.
Coach, do you have anything to add?
Well, I just don't think a game ever, even we had the margin there, it doesn't feel like it is that large a margin when you're playing it, just because of the stakes and what you're playing for and so on. But I just thought that the kids did a good job of continuing to win innings and win pitches, and but it didn't seem that way when you're on our side. I can assure you that. We did it a different way last year. We had to beat Texas in the second game, so this is new and different for us, but we'll make decent use of the 2 days that we have leading up to Monday.
We have 2 more questions, Michael and then Kendall.
Michael Anna, Baseball America. For Walker and Rhett, just a follow-up. How do the feelings going into the finals this year just compare to last year? Is it just as sweet?
Walker, could you begin for us, please?
Yeah, I think anytime you get back to the series that we're about to go into, it's pretty exciting, and it's your goal coming into the year is first to get to Omaha, and then once you get here is to get to that series. So, no, I don't think there's any damper on it because we were here last year.
Yeah, it's so special. I mean, you walk around our locker room right now, everyone's fired up. I think it's some guys. I mean, when you look at it, I guess I find so much excitement out of it because the guys that weren't here last year, especially the guys that were on the team that were redshirted, that's where I get even kind of choked up talking about it. Like, just for them to be able to get back here after hearing about what it was like last year, and sometimes you're around these guys and you don't even want to really talk about it because you feel so like they missed out on it, and just to get back here for those guys is what's so special.
And our final question from Kendall.
Kendall Rogers, D1. Tim, kind of piggybacking on that. When you see teams win the national championship, it's hard to win it once, but it's even harder, it seems like, to kind of emulate that performance the next year. I guess kind of discuss just the job this veteran class did and just kind of staying on task at the goal in hand throughout the whole season to get to this point.
Just so centered, Kendall. I've told them that the training sessions in between the games are better than the games themselves. They have a unique way of just keeping their eye on target and never getting off balance. And I think when you have an older group, they understand what the coaching staff wants and they implement it themselves. And I've said all along, I do feel like a parent that's in the back seat letting your kids drive the car because you trust them. And when you trust a group of kids, it's the greatest feeling a parent can have. And that's how I feel. I told them 3 weeks ago I'm at complete peace with them. And I am. They just do things right. They take care of one another. They take care of people. They engage with other people. They do the small things well. And because of that, they see success. But a lot of the success that they see is deserved and has nothing to do with baseball, but it comes full circle around to help them in baseball.
I'd like to thank the Vanderbilt student-athletes as well as Coach Corbin for joining us. If you have individual questions for the Vanderbilt student-athletes or Coach Corbin, please talk with Kyle Parkinson, the Vanderbilt SID. Vanderbilt will be now in the College World Series Finals, and they will be the home team in Game 1 on Monday night. Tomorrow, Florida will battle Virginia at 7 p.m., and Virginia will be the home team. Congratulations.